you should never ever freaking help your friends and family grow. Because as Alphaba says, no good deed goes unpunished. You might think that when you learn to grow and when you learn to become a better version of yourself, it's your duty to help your friends and family do the same. And you might think you're doing them a favor when you're trying to do something good. But in reality, you're setting yourself up for being sabotaged. People do not like it when their comfortability is threatened. And when you're trying to tell your mom and your dad and everybody else that you are trying to help them become better, you're obviously telling them that they are not good. You're basically saying straight to their face, I don't think you're doing things right. What happens is also that people will start putting you down for your own growth. They do not like the fact that you're now telling them, I've got all of this going on. Because essentially you're saying to them, I've got all of this going on and you have nothing going on. And that is going to make them try to tear down and make you doubt whatever it is you got going on. You have to think of yourself as someone who's walking up the self-growth mountain. This is a mountain. And on this mountain, you're trying to get to the top. And when you're trying to walk up this mountain and you've told everybody down here that you're walking up this mountain, they're going to be like, oh my God, are you sure you can make it? Are you sure you can make it? They might even say something like, wow, you're really turning your back on us. You're really thinking you're that much better. You're really thinking you can go all the way there. And because you're a people pleaser and because you don't want to be a bad person, you're going to go all the way down the mountain to look them in the eye and tell them, I'm not trying to do anything bad. I'm just trying to help. I'm just trying to do better for myself. That's exactly what they want. Because negative people, victim mentality people, people that haven't grown in the way that they should grow, like your mom, your dad, people around you that haven't changed, people around you that are living miserable lives, these people like the validation they get from you when you feed into their mentality. They love it when they're telling something negative about their life and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about that. Oh my God, yes, you were the victim. They feed off of that. So when you're walking up the mountain, they naturally turn on that victim mode and they're saying, now you're leaving us behind. That's a natural thing for them to do because they're literally only able to see themselves in that light. And that's the only way they can get energy from people is from turning it into that, because that's the only way they can keep on having the cushion of being the victim. And you're probably also addicted to the cushion of being the victim, which is why it is very important that you stop interacting with people that have a victim mentality that are always negative, because you are constantly trying to help them. You think you're doing something good, but because they actually just want the energy so they can continue feeding into their miserability, they're going to continue doing the same thing. And you can't understand what's happening. You're doing all of these good things for people. Then you're going to be like, why? It's probably the world's fault because I'm doing everything right. And that's when you're getting a victim mentality. That's why the most important thing you can do for yourself if you want to grow is to not interact with people, maybe like old friends or family, for a while, especially when you're starting your growth journey. When you're starting your growth journey, maybe you're still forced to kind of interact with them once in a while, but you cannot tell them that you're growing, because essentially you need to get as much momentum and you need to get as much self-confidence to continue up this mountain. And if the first thing you do is tell everybody in their mom, hey, I'm trying to go up this mountain, you're not going to get very far because they're going to catch you as you're trying to go up that mountain. Instead, you have to not tell them, because then they're going to be a little confused down here. And then when you get to the top of that mountain, they're going to be like, wow, how did you get up there? A lot of the times, if you're also a people pleaser, people are going to try to be like, well, if you're trying to do all of these good things, then take me with you. And because you're such a nice person, you're going to take them with you. And this is you. And they're climbing on top of your back. And because now you have them latched onto you as well, it's going to be that extra bit harder for you to go up that mountain. And they're going to be like, oh, well, it's not as easy as you thought it was. And you're going to lose hope in yourself and you're going to end up going down that mountain. This also goes for dealing with men. Anybody in reality that is always trying to make you doubt yourself, they want you to settle for less. A lot of people are going to be shouting like, oh, are you sure you can do that? Or you're never going to get what you truly want. But that's because they're threatened. They are actually literally telling on themselves. They're just projecting because they are seeing that you're willing to take a risk and leave the bubble. And now they have to mourn the version of yourself that you're no longer willing to be in their lives, aka the version you probably were in other people's lives that was always giving your energy, always making sure that everybody was happy, always being the one who was efficient. You're always the one who's taking care of everybody, giving your energy, giving your energy, giving your energy. If you're constantly giving your energy to other people, do you think you'll have energy left to make yourself a better version of yourself? No, you won't. That's why you have to take this journey alone. It's called self-growth journey for a reason. It's not called a you and them growth. It's called self-growth, which is exactly why you have to make sure you take the steps you need to take so that you are not literally dragged down the moment you try to make a difference in your own life. You also have to get addicted to your own compliments, your own validation. If you're someone who needs other people to see that you're proving them wrong, that, oh, look what I'm doing better now, look at me, see, I did all of this and you didn't think I could, then you're going to constantly end up being the one who falls down the mountain because you're literally addicted to the validation of people that don't even want anything better for you. You have to do the self-growth thing on your own because you have to get reliant on your own validation, not on some, I'm going to do all of this to spite people. If you're doing things to spite people, if you're doing things to get justice from people, you're literally not giving yourself, your inner child, justice. You're literally putting your inner child and your old self in a cage saying you can never evolve because everything has to pin down and be pointed back at whatever people did to us in the past. We can never evolve. We can never do better. We're always going to be referred back to that version. You're literally keeping yourself trapped. And you're literally saying to your old self, you always have to remember. You always have to literally have this version of you stuffed down your throat. And resentment and wanting justice from people, or wanting people to give you what you deserve, and wanting people to see you're doing much better now. Look, I actually came this far and you didn't think I could. That's going to build a lot of resentment. And when that resentment motivation is gone, you're not actually going to find what you want. You're going to find what you wanted them to see. And that's never good. That is always going to set you up for being a version of yourself that you can't even recognize because you were doing it to prove other people wrong. You should have done it to prove yourself right, to show that you are actually there for yourself, to pick all of the versions of yourself up and say, you know what, we're not going to kill my old self. We're going to continue having you with me. Don't worry. We're going to a good place now, a place where we're safe, a place where we're happy. That's why you have to take care of it yourself. You can't put your fate in the hands of other people, especially not in the hands of trying to prove people wrong. That builds resentment and that builds a lot of negative energy. And you're also going to be going right back down into the victim mentality when you realize that whatever it is you're trying to achieve, when you do get there, it didn't feel the way you wanted it to feel. But last but not least, the most important thing is if you want people to grow, you have to remove your energy from them. You might think that giving your energy to other people and talking to them about their problems and all of this is going to help them grow. No, the easiest way for you to make other people grow is to grow yourself. If you want to make other people grow, you have to go so far and not give them any energy into their negativity, because this is a law of attraction. The law of attraction states whatever it is you focus your attention towards is what you're going to get more of. If you're focusing your attention towards other people's demise, you're going to get more demise in your life and they're going to get more demise in their life. If you want people to change, you have to starve them of the validation and the cushion they get for having such a negative mentality. If you have a parent, a family member, a friend who's always having to bring something negative up, the easiest way for you to get them to stop doing that and to bring them the justice they deserve in their own mental health or whatever is to remove your energy, because then they're going to have to be forced to sit with their own negativity. They're going to be forced to have to be mirrored with their own negativity. They're going to be the one who's saying negative things to themselves all the time, and eventually they're going to get tired of that because they don't get any validation from only sitting in their own sour soup. They want other people to give them that validation. They feed off of other people's negative energy. That's why negative people love it when you talk about negative things around them or you feed into their negativity, because it's not making them grow. It's not making them feel like they're held and wow, okay, you got me. No, it's making them feel like, oh, I should continue telling this story. Which is why if you want to solve your victim mentality, if you want to grow, you have to let go and move on and focus on going up the mountain. And that way you'll also help them face whatever they need to face, because they can only face it themselves. Whatever it is they got going on, no matter how much you're trying to give them all of these tips and saying you can grow like this and this and that, it's something they have to face themselves, especially if they're really, really deep in it, especially if they have the biggest victim mentality and everything is always going against them. They have to fix it themselves, and they can only see that it's not getting them anywhere once they're not literally getting energy from people that is saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry for you. This goes for all of the people pleasers who are stuck with parents that never change. You're not here to change them. You have to change yourself. And by removing your energy that you've always felt like you owed your family or people around you, friends and family, that's how you're going to make yourself get the things you want. You're going to have energy to give back without feeling like you need reciprocation. And they're going to also feel like they have to change because now they're not getting energy or validation from you constantly having to show up because you think it's your duty. Your duty is to focus on yourself so you can get what you want. You need to focus on yourself so you can have more than enough.